Byron Donalds, Florida. Wow, that's nice to have you here. That's good. He's great. He's great. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. That one is smart. You have smart ones and you have some that aren't quite so good.
Hello, this is Dan from About That Life in Japan. Welcome back to the channel. For the most part, my channel is all about fun. I'm out here in Japan. I've been here for 20 plus years. I love it. It's great. I don't want to get too political. I don't want to get political at all, to be honest with you. But I have a lot of students. I'm from Texas. Yeah, I'm from Texas. And I got a lot of students out here in Japan, past and present, and they ask me questions. I'm one of the few people of color that they have a chance to sit down and communicate with, talk to, face to face, on a real level. I mean, because I talk to people, like this. And they ask me some interesting questions. I've gotten asked, do I get tan? Because it's hot out here in Japan, just like it is in Texas. I mean, it's hot out there. It's hot out here and humid. And I've gotten asked a ton of questions, appropriate, inappropriate. I chalk it up to, not having access, right? I get asked a lot of questions about all this stuff in the news, a lot of stuff in the news. And I saw something in the news today that I just have to address before I get asked, because it's Sunday here in Japan. It's Sunday night. You see behind me, that's F1. I love my Formula One. And they're racing in Italy. Lewis Hamilton, come on, do it, bruh. But it's Sunday, and I know this next week is going to bring a lot of questions about what's going on with this election in the United States. And so I saw something in the news about 30, 40 minutes ago, oh, gee, she's about to come home. We're going to sit down and have some curry. And anyway, I saw something in the news and I just thought I had to put this out before I sat down while it was fresh on my mind. Donald Trump gave a speech. He called out Byron Donalds. He called him out and said, hey, he's the future. He's going to be great. He's the future, but he's now. And I thought, okay, he could be, I'm not a party person. I'm more of the candidate, that person. How are they doing? What are they going to do? Right? Regardless of whatever party. They could be, with the alien team. If they're going to do better for me, I'm cool with him. But my man Donald, he called out Byron Donalds and said, hey, look at you over there. Everybody give him a hand. He's the future. He's the future, but he's now. He's one of the good ones.
Bruh. Bruh.
Man, I can't tell you. So my first real talk. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, right? My man, Donald Trump, called that man out, stand up, give him a round of applause. He's one of the good ones.
Bruh. Bruh.
I'm just like, man, look. There's a couple of things that you just, come on. But it's Donald Trump. They're going to give him a pass. Okay. It's Donald Trump. I mean, his people have said it. I've seen it on the news. You've watched interviews. His supporters will say he could shoot somebody on the steps of the White House. He's still going to get my vote. Okay. That's America. You can vote for whoever you want to. That's what it's there for. To choose who you see fit. Cool. But, Byron, come on, man. I mean, How can you? That's one of the fundamental things that I learned growing up in Texas is, one, you can't let nobody call you out your name. It just ain't gonna happen. Two, you don't go to church in some messed up clothes. You just don't do that. It can't get any worse than that. He just called my man out of his name on the biggest stage in public and tried to frame it as being a praise. And Byron smiled and took it and claimed that this man is good for people of color. But he's one of the good ones. Come on now. Really? Come on. I mean, we talk about accountability, right? And standing up for, whatever you believe is right. And then this person who's in a fairly good position of power let something like this slide? Now, I'm not saying he needs to jump up and say, and pull a Will Smith and, slap the taste out of his mouth. But if there was any a time where somebody needed to get the taste slapped out of their mouth, that was it. Come on, man. You can't let somebody call you out your name. That's just like, that's the 11th commandment right there. And for anybody who's thinking, oh, that wasn't racist. We're in America. We take things too seriously. Everybody got thin skin. What do you call them? Snowflakes. All these other terms. Look. India. The Indian Times. As soon as that came out, as soon as that article, as soon as this news that Donald Trump jumped up and called this dude damn near the N-word on live TV, he one of the good ones. India picked this story up. I think it's the Indian Times. They picked this story up and called it out as being racist. Man, look, India's got more casts than a hospital after the ski season. It was shocking for a minute. And then reality slapped me in the face. No, that's what he does. We get all of these prominent people out there with a real base. I mean, a real solid following. Candace Owens. Very smart lady. Incredibly intelligent. And Trump. Come on. There's a couple of brothers got on the internet and they got mad, how could, Eminem called her out, and he has some things to say. He's Eminem. I mean, just like Trump, he got a lot of shit to say. But he called her out, and they had a couple of brothers jumped up and like, man, one dude jumped up and said, I don't know how I feel about Eminem calling a black woman the B word. Bro, that's what you took out of that? That's what you took out of that? Come on, dog. Another one jumped up I don't know how I feel about Eminem being the one to call her out on this. Why not? Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves. Not another black man didn't do it. So another white dude can't jump up and say, hey, old girl is a little off. Who else jumped up? Who else got a lot of crazy stuff to say? Oh, my man, Bussy Bus, Kwame Brown. He's got a lot to say. And I love the angles that he approaches things at. And in a manner that, the manner that he does. And it's very unique and interesting, It's kind of like, to me, Kwame Brown's like Russell Brand. They got their own way of communicating. And Kwame Brown keeps complaining, Harris, what? She not white. She not Harris. She not black. She just turned. What's she gonna do for us? She not black. What's she gonna do for us? All right, bro. Well, what other options you got out there? The hell, you gonna pull a leprechaun out of the bag and have him give you a whole bunch of coins at the end of the rainbow? Man, come on. What happened to fight the good fight? We've got now 2 candidates, thanks to Mr. Kennedy not being in the run anymore. Although I hear he's on some of the ballots in some states. Anyway, you've got a choice between A and B. A and B. Not A, B, C. A and B. So out of those 2 choices, who are you going to choose? Oh, but she's not going to do anything for the black food. She been in there. She can't do that. She just turned black, whatever. All right, cool. Great. So that's why you are sitting here complaining? That kind of talk right there creates a rift for the people who are really in doubt that their vote will count. A lot of people choose not to vote because they feel, oh, ain't nobody gonna listen to me. Shit. Ain't nobody gonna listen to me. They don't listen to what I say, right? But they'll listen to what Kwame Brown says. They'll listen to what Byron Donalds says. They'll listen to what Donald Trump says. And, Ms. Harris, Vice President, by the way, Vice President of the United States. They'll listen to what they say, right? And then you still got to go back to your home, lay your head down on whatever you lay it down on, and be in your thoughts. And hopefully make a decision to get out and vote and choose the person you believe is better. So, out of those 2 choices, Kwame, you gonna just throw a whole monkey wrench in the engine and create that feeling that they're not the one I want, so I'm not gonna play the game. And maybe that's what you did in your career. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a Stephen A. Smith fan, and to be honest with you, that's why I started, kind of listening to a little bit of what Kwame had to say, because I felt he got a bad shake, in his time in the NBA, I mean, I can't cry with spilled milk. The dude made it to the highest level of the sport, but come on, man. I mean, really, instead of making sure we don't get stuck with someone talking about you one of the good ones. I got one of the good ones on my team. Instead of making sure we don't get stuck with 4 years of that, you're gonna I don't know what to say about it. I'm gonna leave that at that. Another cat out there talking a whole bunch of smack that I've heard recently. Shout out to D.L. Hewley, because he jumped up, he stood up, and owned up to his own prejudice, in a sense. You know, he had something to say. He felt a certain way based off of information that he'd read. Not anyway. D.L. Hewley felt a certain way, and he made it well known. And after time, he, for whatever reason, he changed the way he felt. Went on to the DNC, and he said some, things about that. He backed, Vice President Harris, to be the next president. And in doing that, he seemed to catch the wrath of Dr. Umar something or something, Now, I don't know this Dr. Umar. I see him hollering on TV a lot. I say TV, on the internet. And building a school that's been under construction for like 40 years. He's I like the way Dr. Umar communicates. He's kind of like, Dr. Umar reminds me of Mike Jones. I mean, I'm from Houston. I'm from Texas. I like that down south music. And Dr. Umar might have a little Mike Jones in him, because you know how Mike Jones, and he'll say Mike Jones. He'll say it like 3 or 4 times to make sure you remember his name. and Dr. Umar will say like, D.L. Hewley, come on and see me, D.L. Hewley. Come and have a debate with me, Ricky Smiley. Come and have a debate with me, D.L. Hewley. He'll say it like 3 or 4 times, to make sure you hear him, right? And he's another one that's constantly harping on Miss Harris and the fact that she's mixed and doesn't seem to specifically point out her agenda in relation to people of color. Well, as he says, black people, because this seems to be the only people he worries about. And he's constantly harping on this. Whereas, that's another example of a person with an amazing platform that has an opportunity to touch so many people in a positive way. But he chooses this way. Again, we have only 2 candidates to choose from. He's supposed to be a doctor, and you would think he would understand that. There are only 2 choices we have, A or B. If you're constantly berating B, people are going to think, oh, so A is the way to go? Come on, man. I'm not even trying to tell you who to vote for. I'm not even trying to tell you who's a better candidate. But you got family, kids, nieces, nephew, cousin, just friends. You need to leave your child, niece, nephew, cousin, friend at home alone with A or B. One of those would be a better option than the other. Keep that in mind. You got to leave your family, you got to leave your loved one at home with Donald, who thinks we're one of the good ones, or Vice President of the United States, Harris. So we have a choice, A or B. Just think about it. How would your grandmother or grandfather who fought for the right for us to vote, who fought for the right for us to have an equal opportunity, who fought for the right for us to just walk down the street without being harassed, to drink water from the same faucet that every other person drinks water from, to get an education. Ask them how they would feel about that man calling their grandchild out and saying he one of the good ones. And see if they don't slap the taste out your mouth for telling them that that man is all right. Man, look, you know they're not bringing him. You know he can't come to the barbecue. So I started this out as a message to my students, and I will probably have a lot more explaining to do. But that's what we do, right? Knowledge is power. Keep that in mind as we go forward for the next 60 days or something, and make this decision on who will be the next leader of the United States of America. Yeah. So, about to go make me a drink, sit down, eat this curry, watch this race, and hope my man doesn't say anything else too out of pocket. Man, you know, I'll holler at y'all in a minute. Much love to all my fam. It's Dan from About That Life Japan. That turned out being a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. But about to make me a drink. Yeah. It's Sunday, so Pops, this for you. Got a little bit of this Crown. Still about that life.